Republican-controlled House of Representatives in an effort to alleviate the effects of the, anyone? The Great Depression, passed the, anyone? A tariff bill, the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, which, anyone raised or lowered? Raised tariffs.
Obviously, he is not doing a good job of collecting and documenting student learning, and he has no evidence of student learning. Benefits for teachers are that we can assess, collect, and analyze data in a way that energizes students, not deflates them. We can encourage students to put effort into testing, which will offer a more accurate view of their learning. And we can also conference with students to discuss the results and how to prepare for future learning, and discuss how and why data is important and how it's used. I know a lot of teachers, I know Kara and Sarah are doing that really well, like implementing their binders and setting goals with kids. And it's a great way to kind of, let the students know where they are and where they need to be. And they can provide their own evidence. It can also help you plan lessons, instruction, and according to student results to reteach, enrich, or plan for differentiation. So that's why this is a benefit for teachers. And Trisha's going to tell a little bit why it's a benefit for students.
Yes, so in terms of benefits for students for collecting and documenting evidence, one of the benefits can be that students can track their own success. So allowing them to do that can be more motivating for some students, that they can see that they're making gains, or even if they're not making gains, maybe it can motivate them to work harder and to get there. It gives you a better understanding of what the students know and what they don't know. So for that student, it allows them to be able to know that the teacher knows where they are and that you can build them up from there. Another reason that we came up with is that it can build a sense of community if you use the information that you've gathered to level groups, so that those students feel like they have other people in the class who are at the same place as they are and can learn from there. It also enhances engagement and academic success in terms of them having to document their own evidence and their own growth. That produces also more academic achievement based off of studies, but that's okay. And it can be done in a variety of ways, so that can also pique interest of different students if you allow them to document their growth in different ways. They're getting a more individualized education because you're allowing them to document that. And it can also help with transition. So from classes, from let's say you're going to 2nd to 3rd grade, or even if they switch buildings, which honestly happens quite frequently for some students, that it allows them, because you have tracked that growth, that if that goes with them to the 2nd grade from the 3rd grade, that the teacher will know exactly where they are and can start right there. You don't have to backtrack and figure it all out all over again. You'll at least have a starting place, so it can help the students there. Due to documentation, they can determine which methods of learning works best for them, so they might be able to even learn for themselves how to study better, how to learn better, and then also just a better connection with the student, with the teacher, because they're going to know where that student is, and the student is going to feel more connected to that teacher because they feel like they're being heard and that they know more about where they are.
Okay, and that kind of leads us into, we were looking for ways that technology can help you collect and document evidence of student learning. And Allie had a really cool way that she does this in her classroom. But before she talks about how she uses technology, we have a quick introduction to technology.
Yes, I love technology, but not as much as you see. But I still love technology, always and forever.
That's good.
Thank you. Okay, a little bit about technology. This is also one of my success stories because this is something that I am just in love with. It's awesome for documentation, it's authentic, it's great for observation, for you to jot down things that are on the go. It's easy to go from student to student, and I'll show you a little bit about how that works. So basically what this is it's a pretty long PDF document, and I just created this document based on the standards, the Ohio standards, and based on our report card. So I'm kindergarten, so this is all of our kindergarten stuff. And it is actually color-coded based on quarter, what they should know each quarter. So everything in blue is what they should know first quarter. Everything in green is what they should know second quarter. Orange is third quarter, and then fourth quarter is red. And then I added this year an area for social emotional behavior. I also, it is always, well, no, I had my own last year separate, but I always am updating this. I always add their quarter goals and accommodations used per child. It's something that I can keep track of, and it's easy for me to go back and look at when I'm thinking, what do I need to put on their report card? Because all of the information is on here. And I also have writing samples each month that I will take a picture of their writing sample so that parents and teachers can see a progression of their work. This one is one of the ones that I just started this year, so I don't have too much documentation yet. So I was going to show you one from last year so that you could see a little more color and a little bit more about how the ongoing progress, how it shows progress. So, for example, the first page is all reading skills and language arts. I'm showing everything that is in blue because I also color code it based on the marker. Because you just write on it with your finger. That's all you do. It's pretty simple. And you can change the colors right at the top. So everything in blue, you can tell that they knew that first quarter. And then everything in green is their growth for the second quarter. Everything in orange is what they gained third quarter. And then everything in red is what they gained fourth quarter. So you can see a growth. And this was really good for my parents, especially last year. I had quite a few parents that didn't read very well. Having a color-coded, parent-friendly conference piece like this was awesome. They thanked me. They were very happy about it. They were very appreciative that it was parent-friendly. And also this really led me to see where they needed more help and where where their strengths may have been. And I made all of my groups based on these documents that I made. Because I had writing groups, reading groups, math groups, I had all sorts of groups. So it really led me to pool those kids during center time to sit at my table and say, well, you know what? I have these three that really, really need to work on rhyming or something like that. And then I would pull them for that day. So it really allowed me to plan ahead of time and really allowed me to see where I needed to go each day. So it was a good planning tool as well. In the bottom, I'll show you the bottom. Here's where every single quarter I had put the goals. And where I got the goals from is under each section I have an observation area. All you do is tap on it and you can type in it and you're done. So where I got all of their quarter goals was from the observations and things that I made during the day or during one-on-one. So it was a great tool when I'm filling out report cards or interims, what they need to work on, what I need to tell parents. Then here is where you can see, it's hard to see, but I would take a picture every single month, and it's really easy to take a picture through this app Notability using my iPad. All you do is, we're having writing time, and I'll go around and I'll say, oh my gosh, that's a good writing sample, and I'll say, come and take your picture. And I'll take their picture, it'll come right up on the screen, and I'll just put the date. I might put a little blurb about something they said about their picture or about their writing. And down here, I put a comment on this one that he was able to write this by himself. No help needed. Down here, it was kind of messy. I had to write what he actually wrote. He read it to me, but that just told me that he was able to reread his writing, and it told me that he was understanding what he was doing. So it's just a really good tool, and sometimes I would even take pictures of their math or, something that they were proud of. that's how I use technology in my classroom. It's ongoing, it's every day, it's authentic assessment. So if any of you have questions, I know I shared this with my kindergarten team and the pre-K team. I've shared with them too. It's really amazing. And I mean, you can't get any better. I mean, it's aligned with the standards, it's aligned with the report card. I know that everything on here is what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's a tool that I'm really proud of. I actually presented this last year to the whole school. And I tried to tell them a little bit about how you could use it in the upper grades. Because this, is kindergarten, it's different. And some of the things that I said were like for running records or, star testing or whatever, you could add different pieces to just compile all of their assessment data in the same place. I know that's helpful for me because I don't like flipping through a big old fat binder all the time, wondering, okay, where did I put this? Or here's one of theirs, here's another of theirs, but I like it talking in the same place. So that's another really great tool for this. Running records, you can take pictures of anything. I know preschool is using it for like cutting and things like that. Nobody wants to keep a binder of cutting samples. So they can take a picture of it, they can write down how they cut, and you're done. They can take it home. Because the kids like to take their stuff home. So those are just some things, and I'm happy to share it with you.
Does it take up space on your iPad, or is it?
No, it really doesn't, and it's really fast and simple to just open it up. My whole class is here. If I see, Bentley's doing this, I'm going to go in and I'm going to type whatever in his observation box. Oh, and then I'm going to go back and Christopher's doing this, and here's Christopher.
You started the Word document.
But yeah, I made it as a Word document, saved it as a PDF, put it on my drive, and I imported it into an app called Notability.
Is collecting, examples of evidence. And she showed you how to do one. It's on your packet. We have just broken it down. It's just a laundry list of things. Most of us do a ton of these. Well, I'm sure we all do a ton of these. And the categories we have are conversations, observations, and products. And within those three categories, there is just a list of a ton of different things. So if you turn your packet, some of you, I'm sure you're familiar with most of these, but some of you, there may be a few where you're like, well, how do they do that, or what is an explanation? We found this awesome website that literally has a definition for all the different types of evidence that you may want to collect. So we weren't going to reinvent the wheel. So it's there. And then behind that is where you can see some of the technology that Allie talked about. So if you just want to take a second, and with the people around you, you can just really quick say, hey, you know what? I do it. Oh, I've never heard of this. I don't know what Perspectives is. What is that for a product? So just take a few minutes, share with your neighbors. Yes, I do this. Never heard of this. Do you do this? So some think time. One thing that Rick does, and I know other people do, they have this Daily 5, and we made a video kind of showing a sample of what that might look like. And it's a conversation. He's having conversations with his students. He's taking notes. So there's a lot of different things going on. So this is an example of what a Daily 5 might look like.
For our presentation, we are working on documenting student learning. One way that I document student learning is each time that I meet with a group, and I meet with the teacher station for the Daily 5, or I meet with a group in computer lab for intervention or something like that, I keep a documentation log just so I can show what we've worked on and how they did with it. So we're going to do a quick model of a Daily 5 meet with the teacher station. As you can see, I'm obviously meeting with an intervention group that is struggling. with life and rounding and everything else involved with it. So we're going to go ahead and start our station work and proceed. All right, so I noticed on your homework from the other night, and Christina, I also received the note from your dad that you were having a lot of trouble with your homework.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Christine, we have 15 minutes for our meet with the teacher station, so do you think you can wait, or is this an emergency?
I guess.
Okay, thanks.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't do my homework because my dog did it, and then he threw it up. So unless you want me to go through his stuff,
Yes.
I did my homework.
I know, Mia, thank you. And I really like the way you're waiting and listening over there. You're doing an awesome job. I did notice that you were missing your homework. We had that discussion about that, but from what I've seen in class, we really need to work on some things. So we're going to go ahead and review rounding. So I've got our balloon. Do you guys remember balloon rounding?
Yeah.
All right. Christina, you seem to be doing pretty well with the balloon. Please don't hurt the balloon. Christina, you seem to be doing well with balloon rounding the other day in class.
May I have a turn too?
Yes, you will. You're going to be next, Mia, because you were waiting so patiently.
Thank
Do I get
you.
a turn?
Perhaps. Yes, you'll get a turn. We're going to go ahead and start with our first robot rounding problem, 746, and we're going to round it to the nearest hundred. So let's go ahead and put our balloon around our hundreds place, and then we are going to put our balloon string to our 4, because that's our tens place. Nice, Mia. Christina, very good. Emily, very nice. All right, so I'm going to hold my pretend balloon. You two can hold your pretend balloons too.
I'll hold the real balloon.
Yes. And
I'm next.
we need to let
I
go
just have like 4 caps.
with how many fingers? How many fingers?
4.
Yes. So let's let go with our 4 fingers and see what happens with our balloon. Our balloon stayed there. So what would 746 round to? What do you think, Mia?
I'm thinking 700 because it just stays there.
Very nice. Good job, Mia. Good job, Christina. Let's pass that balloon to Mia. And Emily, I really like the way you're waiting so patiently right now.
It's really hard.
Doing a great job. Let's try 489 and round that one to the nearest 100 as well. So let's put in our balloon, our string. It's quite a balloon. Okay.
Do you want me to do the fingers?
Let's see. Yeah.
Okay.
Mia, please. Let's see what happens this time. We have
So I'm
how
gonna.
many fingers should she let go with this time, Emily? You think?
8.
You got it. Yeah, because
But you
your
don't
balloon
have 8
string.
fingers on one hand.
Right.
You only have 5.
So we're going to have to use 2 hands this time. All right, let's see. Check it out. Start us off, Mia.
1, 2, 3. Whoopsie. 4.
And then we still have
5,
6.
6, 7, 8.
Oh,
So
wow.
obviously it has to go up because
You're
the
right.
balloon went up.
Right.
So you
it's
don't
gonna
put
round
both hands
up.
on it. You only put one.
You would just use one hand on your balloon string, right?
That makes sense.
Mia, what do you think it's going to round to this time?
8, 5. 1 more than 4 would be 5. So 500.
Nice job. All right, so as you can see, you don't need to see any more of our daily 5 math here and our meet with the teacher group. It seems like this group's starting to understand how to round to the nearest 100. So on my meet with the teacher tracking and observation page here, I would note that we were working on rounding to the nearest 100 today. I would then mark how they were doing as far as rounding to the nearest 100. And then if I needed any sort of evidence for an RTI, conferences, any other type of meeting that I might be in, or just something that I needed to refer to for how they were doing, I have it right there in a binder with what we've worked on each week. All right.
To choose one of the ideas that we talked about today or that is in the packet and give it a try. One that you have not used. And then let us know how it goes. So on the back, at the top of the paper, is the challenge. The bottom is our feedback. So we just want to know how we razzle-dazzled you